Hello, everyone. Today, we are going to learn English through a legendary story about a dog who discovered that sometimes an old enemy can become your best friend. There lived a dog. Part 1. Sirko's story. Once upon a time, in a small village, lived a dog named Sirko. He was a very faithful dog. He was loyal and stayed with his family for many, many years. Sirko served his masters well. He worked for them and helped them every single day. When Sirko was young, he was very active. Every morning when the sun came up, Sirko was already at his post. He guarded the house. He watched the farm and kept it safe from bad people. Thieves stayed far away because they were afraid of him. But years passed. Summer followed summer, and Sirko became old. Old age came quietly, like a silent cat, and old age is difficult for everyone. His eyes were not the same anymore. They became blurry. He couldn't see things clearly, like looking through a thick fog. His ears were now weak, his legs became heavy, and his body was not strong anymore. One night it was very dark. The moon was behind the clouds. Some thieves came to the house. They were bad people with dark plans. And what about Sirko? He was having a beautiful dream. In his dream, he was young again, running through the green fields. He was so comfortable on his old rug that he didn't hear anything. Sirko overslept. He slept too long and missed the thieves. Part 2. The Cold Night. The next morning, the master was very angry. He didn't care that Sirko was old. He forgot that the dog was his best friend for many years. The man was furious. He was so angry that his face became red. He grabbed Sirko's old collar and pushed him away. The master opened the heavy gates and forced the dog to leave. He kicked him out. He told the dog to go away and never come back. Then the master closed the gates. Click! Sirko was all alone in the middle of the dark street. The old dog sat near the cold fence. He put his head down to the ground. His legs were shaking because he was cold and very sad. His heart felt heavy. "Where can I go now?" Sirko whispered to himself. "I am old and weak. I have no strength and no energy. Who will help me?" He looked at the dark forest. The forest! I must go to the forest. Only wolves live there in the dark. Sirko stood up and started to walk. He was heartbroken. He was so sad that he felt pain in his soul. Every step was very difficult for him, like climbing a high mountain. He left his village and walked toward the black trees on the horizon. The forest was cold and scary. Sirko walked deeper and deeper into the thicket. There, the bushes and trees were very thick and close together. There was no one around him. There was only darkness. Part 3. A Friend in the Dark. It was night in the forest. It was so quiet that you could hear the snow falling on the branches. The moon was high in the sky, bright and cold. Sirko sat under an old pine tree. He sighed heavily. He let out a long, deep breath because he was very sad. Suddenly, crunch! Something moved in the darkness. Out of the snowy bushes came he, an old wolf. His fur was thin, and one of his ears was torn. His eyes were glowing like yellow fire in the dark. The wolf walked closer, sat down near Sirko, and shook the snow off his back. "God help you," the wolf said. He looked at Sirko and smiled. "So, did they kick you out? Did they tell you to leave your home?" "Yes," Sirko answered. "They did. I am old now, and they don't need me anymore." "I see. I understand. This happens sometimes. But why are you so sad? Do you think your life is over?" "Well, I don't know where to go." "Hey, don't be upset. Don't be sad, my friend. We are old, but we are still strong. I have a plan. I will help you return home to your warm house. I will help you get your life back. And maybe one day you will help me too." Part 4. The Great Plan. Sirko and the wolf made a plan. They waited for the hot summer. It was harvest time in the village. The sun was golden and hot, like a fresh pancake. All the people were working in the fields, cutting the wheat. They left a small baby in a cradle under a big pear tree. Our two friends were ready. They hid in the tall grass. To hide means to stay where no one can see you. They had a secret. The wolf would pretend to steal the baby, and Sirko would save the child. The work in the field was busy. Suddenly, the wolf jumped out of the grass like a gray shadow. He grabbed the baby and ran toward the forest. The mother saw it and started to scream, "Help! Help! The wolf took my baby!" This was Sirko's moment. He jumped from under the wagon and started to bark loudly. Woof! 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 He chased the wolf. To chase means to run after someone to catch them. He ran so fast that the dust rose from the ground. They ran into the bushes. They growled at each other to make it look real. Then Sirko carefully saved the baby. He wagged his tail and brought the child back to the parents. The baby was safe, healthy, and smiling. Part 5. The Hero Returns. Oh, what a joy it was in the village. Everyone ran to the baby. They hugged the child and kissed him. The master was so happy that he had tears in his eyes. He put his arms around Sirko and whispered, "Forgive me, Sirko, my old friend. You are a real hero. Come back home. From now on, you will eat with us at the table and live in warmth forever." So Sirko returned to his house. Now he was a respected dog. To be respected means that everyone likes you and thinks you are important. He slept on the warm stove, and the mistress gave him the best bones and the biggest pieces of meat. But Sirko did not forget his friend from the forest. True kindness is something you remember with your heart. Real friendship is when you are ready to share your last piece of sausage. Sirko waited for the right moment to help the wolf. He waited for a big celebration. And soon that day arrived. Part 6. The Winter Feast. It was a special day in the village. Sirko's masters were celebrating a wedding. Their eldest daughter was getting married. The house was full of people, music, and laughter. The smell in the air was amazing. There was roasted meat with garlic, homemade sausages, and warm bread straight from the oven. Sirko lay on the warm stove, but he was not happy. He remembered his friend, the wolf. How is he in the cold forest? Sirko thought. He must be hungry and freezing. Sirko's heart was full of kindness. He ran out of the house, through the deep snow, and into the forest. He saw the wolf under a bush. The wolf was shivering. He was shaking because he was very, very cold. "Come with me, my friend," Sirko whispered. "It is my turn to help you. I want to repay your kindness." To repay means to do something good for someone because they helped you before. Sirko led the wolf to the house. They moved very quietly. Inside, the people were dancing and singing. No one saw the gray guest. The wolf crawled silently under the big table. He moved without making any noise. Sirko started to bring him food from the table. He brought a big piece of fat meat, a ring of sausage, and some soft bread. The wolf ate and ate. He was starving. That means he was extremely hungry. Finally, the wolf's belly was big and round, like a drum. His eyes were kind and happy. "Oh," the wolf whispered, "I feel good. I feel very good." Part 7. The Song and the Goodbye. Inside the house, the music became louder. The violins played and the guests began to sing a traditional song. The wolf listened and closed his eyes. He felt the music in his soul. Sirko was scared. He whispered into the wolf's ear, "Be quiet, wolf. Please don't make a sound, or we will be in big trouble." But the wolf was too happy and too full of food. He looked at Sirko with sleepy eyes and said, "Now, I'm gonna sing." "No, wolf, don't do it. If they hear you, they will kill you." But the wolf couldn't stop. He took a deep breath and howled as loud as he could. "Ow!" The house went crazy. Women jumped onto the benches, plates broke, and the men grabbed their sticks. A wolf is under the table," they shouted. Sirko acted fast. He jumped under the table and pretended to fight the wolf. He barked and growled loudly, but he secretly pushed his friend toward the door. He pushed him out into the dark, snowy night and followed him to the forest. They stopped under the bright moon. The wolf sighed and rubbed his big belly. He looked at Sirko with kind eyes and said the legendary words, "Well, thank you, dog. You come by if anything happens." The wolf walked away into the dark forest. His paws made a crunch sound in the snow. Sirko watched him for a long time and wagged his tail. He knew one important thing. When you have true friends, no winter is too cold and no frost can touch your heart. I hope you enjoyed this story. Don't forget to subscribe for more English stories. See you in the next video. Bye-bye.